Hello everyone, welcome to the video on NIPER 2020 paper analysis, and in this I am going to explain pharmacology mechanism based questions with answer explanation. I have already made two of the videos based on pharmacology questions. This is the third part of pharmacology. This is my YouTube channel. You just type in my name G Sai Rajesh in YouTube, you will get my channel. I have 125 pharma related videos and close to 2000 subscribers. If you like the video content, do subscribe. Let's get into the class. Now, this class, especially I have collected the questions from NIPER 2020, which are based on this mechanism related questions. Let us see them. Now, one of the question is, which of the following is a cytokine inhibitor used as anti-inflammatory agent? Now, the options given are nimesulide, abatacept, diclofenac, nabumetan. Now, when you see the drugs, all of them, nimesulide, diclofenac, nabumetan, all of them belong to a class called as NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, and all of them has got common mechanism of action, that is inhibition of cyclooxygenase enzyme. But what is the question asked? It is about cytokine inhibitors. What is the odd man out here? It is abatacept. So, this is the answer. Now, let us place some time regarding the mechanism. Whenever you read about a drug, whenever you read about mechanism, drug mechanism, you will observe two different things. One, the drug has got physiological effects. Physiological effects. Second one, it has got biochemical effects. Now, let me explain what do I mean by physiological and biochemical effects. Take the case of this one, abatacept. It is an anti-inflammatory agent. This anti-inflammatory agent is nothing but physiological effect. So, when you take the drug, physiologically what happens? You will get this anti-inflammatory effect. But how it happens, why it is showing that action, it is related to its biochemical action, and biochemical action is this one. By inhibiting cytokines, it is showing these anti-inflammatory actions. You take any drug in pharmacology, when you read about mechanism of action, you will happen to see both these things. Take the case of NSAIDs. All NSAIDs, what do? Again, the physiological action is anti-inflammatory actions. What is the biochemical action? They inhibit cyclooxygenase enzyme. So, whenever you read pharmacology drugs, think about both the things. Physiological effects, you talk about a drug, you should be able to tell it is used to treat which disease. That is physiological action. But when you dig deeper and talk about how it acts, it becomes a biochemical action. So, this is you need to think about this and read like this. Let us get into the next one. Now, which of the following drug reduces LDL cholesterol by inhibiting intestinal transport protein? Again, see, reducing LDL cholesterol, a physiological effect. How it is doing? By inhibiting an intestinal transport protein. Now, all the drugs are given are hypolipidemic drugs. Now, atorvastatin. Statins inhibit a particular enzyme known as HMG-CoA reductase. This is a rate limiting enzyme for the synthesis of cholesterol. So, this enzyme, when it is inhibited, cholesterol synthesis is inhibited and LDL levels are reduced, but it is not by inhibiting intestinal transport. So, this is not. Cholestyramine. See, cholestyramine, cholestyramine resins, they are bile acid sequestering agents. So, whatever the bile is released from gallbladder, it gets into the intestine. When people take this drug forms a complex with bile acid. It forms a bile acid complex and it is eliminated out of the body. So, when bile acid is eliminated out of the body, bile levels goes down and body needs to synthesize more bile. So, it uses cholesterol, and this is how these drugs reduce the levels of cholesterol. So, this is also not inhibiting this intestinal transport. So, this is not the answer. Next one, ezetimibe. Ezetimibe is the one which is inhibiting an intestinal transport protein or intestinal absorption. Cholesterol absorption from intestine is inhibited by ezetimibe. This is what is the question about. So, the answer is ezetimibe. Now, the last one, gemfibrozil will be acting on a particular nuclear transcription receptor known as peroxisome proliferation activation receptor alpha. It is a nuclear receptor, and gemfibrozil activates it, which will interface with the lipid metabolism, because of which triglyceride levels are reduced whereas HDL levels are increased. All of them are lipid lowering drugs. Everyone has got a unique mechanism, and the question is about ezetimibe. So, all these are, as I told you, these are mechanism based questions. Moving to the next one. Now, see this. Nerve gases used as warfare agents are, again warfare agents, it's a physiological effects, nerve gas, biochemical thing, how it is acting. Sarin, tarbon, soman, all of them are used as nerve gases. Now, why do they called as nerve gases? All of them belong to a class known as acetylcholine esterase inhibitors. Now, how do they inhibit? They are irreversible acetylcholine esterase inhibitors. They are also known as organophosphates. Now, what do they do? What is the job of this acetylcholine esterase? The job of this esterase is, it is an enzyme which metabolizes acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is converted to acetate plus choline. Now, so when this enzyme is inhibited, the levels of acetylcholine is increases enormously, and acetylcholine is a neurotransmitter. It will show its effects on nerves. What happens when acetylcholine is continuously activating? All the muscles will be under contraction and they fail to relax. It causes a kind of paralysis, which may result in cardiac arrest also. So because of this effect, they were used as warfare agents, and all of them belong to the category. So nerve gas used as warfare agents are means all of the above. So this is what is the answer. Moving to the next one. Now again, silastazole, a drug used in treatment of intermittent claudication, inhibits which phosphodiesterase enzyme? See, PDE indicates phosphodiesterase. You have subtypes are there, PDE3, PDE4, 5, 6. Now, out of this, PDE3 is especially abundantly present in heart, whereas 4 and 5 usually present in lungs and bronchial tissue, whereas PDE6 is present in photoreceptor. So, based on the location, it has got particular uses. Now, what happens when you inhibit this receptor? All of them, the job is they will metabolize cyclic AMP and cyclic GMP. So, these are metabolized by PDE enzymes. When you inhibit this, what happens? The levels of cyclic AMP, cyclic GMP are increased. So, what happens with this? See, the silastazole is specific to PDE3 inhibitor. The question is about this. So, what happens with this? Cyclic AMP levels are increased. What happens with that? When cyclic AMP levels are increased, it results in vasodilation. Blood vessel will get dilated. The second one is it also inhibits platelet aggregation. So, the actions of silastazole are it causes vasodilation and platelet aggregation, and how it acts? It is acting on PDE3 inhibitor, which is widely present in heart and in blood vessels. Now, what do you mean by this? Intermittent claudication. Let me show you this. See, intermittent claudication means, let us understand this. Calf muscle will have this blood vessels. When blood vessels are contracted, either because of lipid accumulation or because of some other reason, the lower extremities will have low blood supply, and that results in pain, and that pain is known as claudication. Now, how you can treat it? By using a vasodilator or reducing the platelet aggregation. Look at this. Silastazole is a phosphodiesterase 3 inhibitor, results in elevated cyclic AMP levels. It reduces platelet aggregation and possesses peripheral vasodilatory actions. It is used to treat intermittent claudication. So, this is what is about phosphodiesterase inhibitors. Moving to the next one. Now, which of the following antiplatelet drug is reversible inhibitor of ADP receptor? Now, see, all of them are antiplatelet drugs, but the question is very specific about ADP receptor, and that too it is reversible, not irreversible, it is reversible. See, let us understand the process. See, whenever imagine this is a blood vessel. When there is a rupture occurs, and that rupture is known as plaque. When the plaque disrupts, the endothelial tissue is exposed to blood. Now, in the blood you have moving lot of platelets are there. So, when that plaque disruption results in collagen and von Willebrand factor exposure to platelets, and platelets will come and attach here, and that is what is known as platelet adhesion. Once they get attached, they will secrete chemical mediators like thromboxane and ADP. Now, once these are released, they will call all the remaining platelets to come here. That is what is called as platelet recruitment, and all of them will get activated. What happens with the activation? If this is a platelet, the activation results in the expression of surface receptor known as GP2B3A. Now, what is the job of this receptor? These receptors will tightly bind with fibrin, and that is what results in platelet aggregation. Now, where do you get this fibrin? It is because of, see, the rupture also releases tissue factor which activates coagulation cascade by which thrombin is activated, and finally fibrin will get released. Thrombin converts fibrinogen to fibrin, and this fibrin in combination with GP2B3A receptors and platelets results in platelet aggregation. This is the process. Now, let us see the drugs. See, this cyclooxygenase is responsible for releasing thromboxane, which is inhibited by aspirin. Aspirin is an irreversible inhibitor of cyclooxygenase enzyme. Now, this ADP is inhibited by all these drugs. ADP will be acting on receptors known as P2Y12 receptors. You have ticlopidine, clopidogrel, prasugrel, and cangrelor, ticagrelor are there. Now, after that, GP2B3 activation is also inhibited by these drugs, abciximab, aptifibatide, tirofiban. Whereas thrombin binding with the receptor is inhibited by vorapaxar. These are all the drugs. Take a screenshot of these drugs. This is very important slide. Now, look at this. Ticlopidine, clopidogrel, and prasugrel act as irreversible. The top one are irreversible. Whereas ticagrelor, cangrelor are reversible. So, in this question, it is not only required to know what are the drugs, but you need to know which one is irreversible, which one is reversible. Because the question specifically asks the reversible one. Now, clopidogrel, prasugrel are irreversible inhibitors of ADP receptors. ADP receptors means P2Y12 receptors. Now, reversible one is ticagrelor. So, the answer option is ticagrelor. So, see, reading mechanism with specific type is also important to crack NIPER exam. Not only NIPER, even GPAT too. Moving to the next one. Again, see, ticlopidine acts as antagonist is P2Y12, agonist is GP, antagonist. Now, we have seen already what is this ticlopidine. It is blocking this ADP receptor. What are these ADP receptor? P2Y12. Blocker means antagonist. See, on the same thing, you have couple of questions are there. Two questions we have seen. One more question is also there. See, which medicine works by binding to glycoprotein 2B3A? This is nothing but GP2B3A, which are involved in platelet aggregation. Receptor reversibly inhibiting platelet aggregation. Clopidogrel, we have seen it is acting on ADP receptors. Warfarin, anticoagulant. Ticlopidine, already we have seen it is acting on ADP receptor. Aptifibatide is the one which is acting on GP2B by 3A receptor. So, the question is asking about this one, aptifibatide. Look at this, 3 questions are asked on the same concept. So, you need to know this thing. So, take a screenshot, paste it somewhere so that you will get command over the drugs. Make a line here so that you will understand the top ones are irreversible, whereas the bottom ones are reversible one. So, all the 3 questions are based on the same concept. Moving to the next one. Now, antipsychotic drugs work by blocking postsynaptic dopamine. Which type of receptors, particularly in mesolimbic and mesocortical pathway. So, there is a theory hypothesis called as dopamine hypothesis. According to this dopamine hypothesis, increased activation of dopamine at mesolimbic and mesocortical area is responsible for psychosis or schizophrenia. Now, at this zone, they will be acting on D2 receptor. So, the answer is D2 receptor. Again, a specific receptor type is being asked in the examination. Moving to the next one. Which of the following drugs work as proteasome inhibitor? Now, let us understand this one. See, all these drugs, MAB indicates monoclonal antibody. NIBS stands for small molecules. All these drugs are used to treat cancer. Now, this proteasome specific inhibitor is bortezomib, especially it is used to treat myeloma, bone marrow cancer. Now, what is the role of this proteasome? Let us see about them. Yes, let us see the role of this proteasome. Now, see bortezomib, this is how it acts. What happens is it will inhibit these proteasomes. Now, what is the role of this proteasome? When proteasome is inhibited, proteasome will cause cell cycle arrest. Cell cycle will get arrested. When cell cycle is arrested, cancer cells cannot multiply, or they can also induce apoptosis. Apoptosis means programmed cell death. Both of them are caused by this drug called as bortezomib. So, the answer is this one. Moving to the next one. Now all of the following typical cholinergic effects except, now cholinergic, the common mnemonic is SLUDD, salivation, lacrimation, urination, digestion and defecation. Along with this, they reduce cardiotonic functions. Cardiotonic functions means heart rate and everything will get reduced. Now look at this, decrease in heart rate, yes, and decrease in contraction of bronchial muscle, yes, both of them are effects of cholinergic system. Decrease in conduction velocity through AV node, yes, it is also the effect of cholinergic system. Increase in sweat secretion, yes, it is also cholinergic effect. What is the odd man out here? Increase in pupil diameter is known as mydriasis, and this is the effect of adrenergic system but not cholinergic system. So this is the exception one. So the answer is D. So this is how the mechanism based questions are tested in NIPER. So thank you for watching this video. If you like the video, do subscribe.